Greetings, humans. I'm Andy. Welcome back to the Windmill for Corpses. We are here with the fabulous, the one and only Aliki Katriou from... And that gets me to my first question. How many bands are you in?
Oh. I am in 8 Lives Down, Tattered Pages, Desolate Plains, Act, and then whenever featured on anything else. So like 4.
Okay.
It's still
I'll count
reasonable.
that as 37.
It still fits on one hand. We're safe.
Okay, for now.
Yes.
Do you have any other bands that will show up that we don't know about?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So let's get into this. First, I want to start with some questions just about you. Mainly, did you always plan to become a musician? What's the background to Aliki becoming like the fabulous superstar she is today?
Oh, error. Trial and error. Okay. I decided I want to work in the arts when I was like 8 years old. I was like, this is what I want to do. And then I couldn't decide what I wanted to do in the arts until I was 11. And then I was like, director. Because no matter what, I do not want to perform. I don't want to be a face. I want to be invisible. Like, I will do everything behind the scenes, and I love existing behind the scenes, but the minute anyone is like, oh my God, see me, I'm like, yeah, goodbye. So that, and I hung on to that, and I went, and I studied film, and I worked in film for a few years, and I kept singing simultaneously because I enjoyed it, and I was like, yay, hobby. And then basically I was looking for a band. I was trying to find a band. It took me 2 years, but I found one. That was 8 Lives Down. And at the same time, the human being that I was doing singing with recorded a video of me screaming a song and uploaded that onto YouTube, and that got so many views, and I got offered a job teaching, and then I started teaching singing, and now all my income related stuff and teaching.
All right. So if you say you started with directing, did that actually flow into like how you make music videos and stuff? Like, do you have any active participation in that?
I do everything.
You do everything?
Yeah.
So like all the videos I've seen of you, like 8 Lives Down, Tattered Pages, Desolate Plains, were those all you? Or which ones?
Not Desolate Plains. Desolate Plains, like Lambros is on it, and I'm like, fly, my child, do everything, you are fantastic. But everything else, yeah, I gave, so I do the 8 Lives Down stuff. I do the 8 Lives Down stuff and the act stuff. As in, I set up the camera, I do the lighting, I just do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And in both those cases, I do all the editing, I just do everything. For Tattered Pages, it coincided with a really bad moment, so I asked the bassist if he could edit it. So I filmed all my stuff and everything, and then I was like, so that was great because I was in the middle of changing computers, and my computer couldn't handle any footage. Like, you'd put the footage into Premiere and it would crash, and I was like, so I was like, you edit it, like, trust me, because if I edit it, it's going to take forever, because I can't. So,
when technology lets you down.
Yeah.
Is that...
And then the Desolate Plains stuff, like the video for Absent was done by a whole collaboration of awesome human beings. I'm really bad with names. all the credits are on that music video. I'm so bad with names, especially if I haven't met the people. I usually film my own stuff. Like if my face is ever there, I film it. This is largely because I am the only human being who is with me. Someone like sets up camera, does everything. And the music video for A Final Thought, which is us recording the album, is just literally the recording. Like that is the take. Yeah, that is the take. That is me visually doing it in the moment. And that's the result that is mixed. It just is what it is.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That really is amazing, because like then you know what you're seeing is actually what's there.
Oh yeah.
Not all these hyper-directed music videos where like people are flying on farting rainbows.
Oh yeah, and you know, like if you look at music videos that I do, or like covers on my YouTube channel, you can tell whether I'm singing or not. And it's very easy to tell whether I'm singing or not, because when I am singing, you see nothing on my neck. No muscle, nothing. It's just immobile. And if you actually see movement, that's an indication that I am lip syncing in that moment. It's super weird. You'd think it would be the other way around. But
I really would, yes.
Yeah.
Like my throat is moving because I'm talking right now.
Yeah, mine moves when I talk, but when I sing, it's pretty stable. It's just like Zen mode.
The zen of screaming, I guess.
Yeah. And it also, like, it's a thing, even when I'm recording. But for music videos, it's a huge problem, because the minute I start growling, I can't hear anything. It is so loud in my skull. It is so loud. I can't hear the music. I can't hear anything. I'm doing everything blindly, and I record the albums blindly. So like they'll press play, I listen to the rhythm, I pray that I'm memorizing it, and then I growl, and I'm like, I'm gone, I can't hear a thing. All I hear is me screaming. It's just very resonant. It's just this boomy thing that just echoes in my skull. Ugh.
I never got that. Like, I know I hear my voice differently than the voices of other people, and I kind of hear it in my head, but not to the point where it makes me deaf to other things.
Oh my god, I can't hear anything. It's terrible. If I'm singing clean, I can hear, but if I start growling, I'm like, gone. I'm deaf.
That's so bad.
It's
but you
really annoying.
You're still like sing when you're supposed to, so I guess you've got a very good sense of rhythm.
And I have the songs memorized.
I do that too. I memorize songs just for the sake of it. It's fun.
It is.
All right. So since we're on the topic of singing, you don't only sing, but you also teach vocals.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this? Is it your main job, and is it sustainable?
It is my main job. I don't know if it's sustainable, but I'm paying rent and eating from it, so yes.
I guess that
sustainable enough. Yeah. I've been teaching. I mean, I kind of like semi-started in like 2012, 2013, but I started doing it like full time as my only source of income in 2016.
So that's 6 years of teaching.
Yeah. Of only teaching.
I think that's longer than I've been consistent with almost anything. So congrats.
Yay!
Okay, and besides teaching, you also have the YouTube channel you already mentioned, where you do like the vocal tutorials and all that stuff. I watched some of those, not even trying to learn anything, just because they're fun. It's so much fun to watch. Why did you decide you also wanted to have like this YouTube channel with tutorials on top of lessons?
So I am generally of the opinion that the best way to market and advertise yourself is transparency.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm just going to upload tutorials because number one, anyone who wants to pay and have lessons can see what a lesson might look like and is welcome. And number two, there are people that can't afford lessons. And I don't understand, like, I can't think of anything worse than a middle class white person genre. Only just because someone couldn't afford to scream. I mean, you should be screaming anyway. So that anarchy.
Awesome. I actually agree with the transparency part because if you don't have transparency, then you kind of have to make stuff up and then you have to keep track of all of them. And it's only so long until your brain's gonna explode.
Yeah, and you have to advertise in weird ways and be like, look what I can do. Guess how I did it. Come book a lesson with me. It's like, that's great, but that's also really boring. Can I tell you how I did it? Because it's really interesting. I'm really into that, and let's all get excited together.
Yeah, I can actually see that in your videos. Like you're so into it.
Oh my god. And when I'm not into it, you can also see. And you can also see like the days where I like woke up and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be here. Let's do it. And I'm just grumpy and I don't care. And I'm like, take it. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's fun too. If the grumpy person is just on a video and you don't have to deal with them in person, then it's no trouble.
Yeah. I think my favorite aspect about the YouTube videos is that I try to record things in bulk because otherwise it's just not time efficient and it's such a waste of life and existence. So I record in bulk. And so I love the days where I'm like, I'm going to record on Wednesday. And I wake up on Wednesday and like I have the largest pimple on planet Earth. I'm like, yes, people, I'm going to have a pimple for 6 months. And none of you will know what happened. I'm like, yes, I'm ready for it. I'm committing. Let's do it. But I love that. I enjoy the shitty aspect.
Yeah, I mean, that really is transparency, just going there with the pimple.
Yeah, of course.
We actually do the same. If we've decided on a day we're going to record, we sit and record 10 to 20 videos on one day. And like, if I have a bad cough, I'll just hold it while I'm recording. I don't care.
Yeah. And I do, as in my approach is very much like local dude down the street in the sense of no makeup. I'm not gonna look better than I look, so just deal. Like, this is my face. So it's really nice, and I find that way more relaxing. Like, I would just be so stressed if I had to approach life in a more female-centric way of, I did my hair, and then I made myself presentable, and then. It's like, my hand shakes like this. Do you want to see me put on makeup? Because like, no, let's not do that to anyone.
Honestly, I think trying to be like a lady in all the lady aspects of today's world is like hell incarnate or something. Like, I don't know how anyone would have like time for anything else at all.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, like the human beings that manage to do it, I'm like, good for you. I don't know how you do it, but good for you. Not for me.
Yeah,
but
I feel lucky to be a dude. I really do. And also,
I'm not a dude, but but it seems nice.
I can tell you it is. It's nice to be a dude. All right, chapter 2 of the interview. 8 Lies Down. So I'm not gonna get too much into the album because it's already, I think, more than 2 years old or something like that. But what I really want to ask you about is you had a couple of shows with the one and only, fantabulous, bombastulous, epic Stardust.
Yes.
So Can you share in large, what do you think was the best thing about that experience for you, or the best things, or the highlights, or whatever?
Ooh. Ah, I mean, it's always, always, always really fun and nice to just get to observe human beings that are really good at what they do. So, ah, um, so that was really, really nice. I I had a lot of fun dying on stage. Like
Welcome to the
sweating.
windmill full of corpses.
Yeah, just sweating out and dying. It's just very satisfying. It's like, yes, this is the whole point. It's just, oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. And I was so excited when we played the Ragnarok and they were like, here are towels. And I'm like, oh my God, for the sweat. That's so nice. I've never been happier. I was like, I love you guys. Yes. I wish everyone would just give me towels everywhere I go. Yes, I'm sweating constantly. Uh, so that was really, really, really nice. And they fed us as well. I was like, ooh.
Yes. And I gave you cookies.
Yes, I know. Oh God, the excitement.
Okay, so it's always fun for me because like you think of musicians as big fancy superstars and you're expecting they're gonna tell you like the best thing about it was like singing with Noah, all the supports from the fans and all that, and then it's like towels, and it's like okay, now I actually get an idea of what it's like to be a musician on tour.
uh, yeah, I mean, I also don't have the. I'm really, really, really bad with like networking and marketing and all that stuff. So, like for me, the compliment is it's awesome to watch fantastic musicians. It's great watching humans that are good at what they do. Like that is really enjoyable. But I'm really bad at, oh my God, and then we met, and I was like, they're amazing. It's like, they're awesome. And I would hang out with them, and I would choose to hang out with them again. Like, I just have this like, yeah, they're good. Is a little bit more of my approach. I have noticed most human beings are much better at the, oh my God, so and so is fabulous. Oh, I'm really bad at it, but I like them.
I mean, for me, honestly, I like them is enough. I think also on the windmill, when we react to stuff, we just say what we think. We never bother to like present anything in any fabulous way or something like that. And I think that's actually what people like about us in some way.
Yeah, I would agree.
One more question about your shows with Stardust.
Yeah,
You performed Queen of Insanity with
yeah,
Stardust.
yeah.
So what I want to ask you about that is, would you say Noah is the Queen of Insanity, or is it you?
Uh, depends what kind of insanity. So I am of the opinion that let's do it this way. Let's say that I think Noah's insanity is more of a risk and a threat to herself, and I think mine encompasses everyone. And all of humanity, and no one is safe, not me, not anyone else. So I think it's hi. Yes. I think my crazy is a little bit more extroverted and obvious.
Yes, it's
Yes.
very obvious. It's also fabulous. I love it.
And yeah.
My take on it was she's the queen part and you're the insanity part.
Yeah, that makes way more sense and is kind of prettier and more organized, but I'm like, everyone's crazy. Everyone from all bands is always crazy.
Everyone's crazy so, because you're seeing them all through your own cognitive filter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true.
All right. So, the new Act album, In a Cell. It's your latest release from all your band's projects things.
Yeah.
So first thing I want to ask, AKKT, is it an acronym for something? What does it stand for?
So it's a double thing. Like we were discussing ACT as in ACT, as in an act in a play, Act 1, etc. So we were discussing that, and then and then a certain human who will not be named, but is the general dog's body of Eight Lives Down, according to himself, basically was like, did you know that you can spell out ACT if you take the letters of your first name and your surname and his first name and surname, and then you guys get ACT? And we were like, oh, okay, let's do that. So that's what we did. So it's literally just our initials.
So it's your initials and the initials of
the other dude.
I'm a bit confused because I read on Bandcamp and there were a lot of dudes.
Yes. So there's only one dude whose initials apply to that. And the reason why we're not going to name him is convoluted and complex, but it's easy to figure out who he is. But yeah.
Am I allowed to like add his name on screen in the edit though?
Yeah, you can.
All right. So for me, when the New Face video came out, it felt like your 38th band basically just popped out of the ground. But I'm pretty sure that didn't literally happen. So can you explain to me, how did the idea for this come about? And how did you guys like come together and decide to start yet another project?
So ACT is really simple in the sense that it is me and the main dude from Tattered Pages.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just us. And it came about because I was writing a whole bunch of songs and I was writing lyrics, as I do. I generate the most grotesque amount of lyrics. It is not okay. I could write lyrics all day long. It's super easy. I vomit lyrics. It's like the joke in Eight Lives Down. They're like, yeah, we'll do 16 songs. The lyrics already exist. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't plan it this way. Even then, I write new lyrics for Eight Lives Down.
And for not only that, but they're like really extreme lyrics.
So I was like, this is within the realms of what is coherent with Eight Lives Down, because it's socio-political, it's coming at things from a lot of different perspectives, etc., etc. But it's not material that I want to interact with every day on stage, and it's not material that I want to live with live. So I called him up, and I'm like, yo, how does the following sound? A group? Like just an underground project that we're not even going to promote. We're just going to be super lazy about it. And we're going to make concept albums. And we're going to make concept albums about topics that are horrifying. And he was like, okay. And musically, he's like, what subgenre? I'm like, out of control, weird, experimental, just randomness. And he's like, okay.
That's like the best description ever for it.
Yeah. So we did that. And I sent him all the lyrics. I was literally like, these are all the lyrics. This is the sequence of the songs. Like, this is the entire album in writing. Compose, fly. And so he composed everything. Complained here and there in the sense of, oh my god, these lyrics. Ugh. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's horrible. Let's get on with it. I'm not enjoying it either. It's nasty and I want to get away from it, but at the same time, I need to get this out of my system. Let's do it. And so we kind of lamented about the lyrics and the topic together. And he wrote all the songs. And I told him, I'm like, do not write something that you're deeply attached to. Or tell me if you are deeply attached to something. And then he's like, okay. And he writes everything. And I go to record the album. And I'm like, all right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to take everything you wrote. And all those sections, we're just going to change the order in every single song. And he's like, are you telling me that my chorus is not? I'm like, yes, your chorus is now going to be the intro riff. And he's like, I'm like, it's going to be coherent at the end. Don't worry. And we did it that way.
So you're basically like...
Poor man. He said yes.
So it was literally just to mess with them. So like you had the song and then you decided you're going to take the parts of it and shuffle them about.
Yeah. Ta-da!
Revolutionary songwriting technique. I literally never heard of this before. You're an innovator.
I love songwriting. I love song structure. I love it. Like, it's literally the way we approach every 8 Lives Down song, is we have the structure first, and then we compose the bits.
That's actually great. That's my way of memorizing songs. Just
yes.
So I can get them in my head and sing along to everything when I see them live.
Yes. It's a terrible thing, because if you notice a lot of 8 Lives Down songs, it's like you only have the chorus twice. It's not very user-friendly, but...
Or sometimes they don't even have a chorus. See Sacrifice.
Yes! Well, that's because Sacrifice was written with the theory that it will have a chorus, but the chorus is not going to have any vocals, and it's going to be a guitar riff.
Now I see it.
Yeah.
Now I see it.
Yes.
Guys, listen to Sacrifice and all the rest of the album. And Stardust. Okay, so that gives a bit of insight into how this thing came about and how you, nut jobs, create things. So if you're okay with it, let's get a bit into the concept of it.
Yeah.
So I already have a bit of insight into what the album is about. The cover artwork also slightly gives it away. But for the not so illuminated folks watching the Windmill, can you tell us what ACT is about?
So the first album is a concept album about prisons and incarceration in general. It is meant to... So it's written in such a way that you could experience the entire album as a psychological thing only, and as a mental experience. But at the same time, it's written in order to have a lot of very tangible, terrible, strong references to the reality of being imprisoned, but in a softer way. In a slightly softer way, so it's not as obvious and isn't as inaccessible as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't use any weird codes or any like SWAT team stuff or anything like that. Whenever using words like isolation or beat downs and stuff like that, they were always kind of incorporated so that there could be another meaning and you could interpret it differently, and it's not always understood as a literal beatdown within a prison, but yeah.
That is so wholesome. I'm joking. Actually, first time I listened to it, I didn't really figure out it was about that. I just kind of went full on into like the mental, like psychological experience sort of interpretation, because it's just how it struck me.
Yeah.
But now that I kind of had it figured it out, I listened to it again a couple of days back, and it kind of struck me, and I want you to tell me if I got this right. So as far as I could tell, the first song is basically the sentence, and second song is going in, and then there's a lot of gorgeous things going along, and then the last two songs are kind of coming back out into the real world and having to somehow exist in it after you haven't for way too long.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Ta-da!
So that's why New Phase kind of has this like breathe in a lot more like easy feeling in a way.
Yeah. Do you know what's really fun? This is irrelevant, and this possibly has nothing to do with the interview, but you know what's really fun? Within the Act album is the second song, right? Is Life in Hell. Yeah. Is the incarceration. That entire song, all the verse. So the only thing that is original, within quotation marks, is the chorus and the bridge. Slash outro, whatever. So chorus is original lyrics, bridge is original, but the verses, every single line is statements from interviews with various prisoners that I just restructured and ordered so that it rhymed. Hi.
Wow.
It's really fun.
It's... I don't know why we're laughing. This is so disturbing.
Yes, there's a lot of effort put in, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the #1 most disturbing album of 2022 for me.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I listened to Cattle Decapitation.
Yeah. No, like I remember when you reacted to New Phase.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and my first thought was, oh my God, have you listened to the entire album? And I was like, oh, if you've listened to the entire album, I should really reach out and be like, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Because it's not the lightest of listening material.
I mean, truth be told, I am a music reviewer and listen to between 50 and 100 albums, and many of them are like deathcore or technical death metal or all sorts of stuff. So I'm used to not easy listens, but still.
Yeah.
Still, it was so painful to go through.
Yeah, it is.
I think actually the only album I heard that felt probably even more scary to me to like read the lyrics and listen to was the new Shadow of Intent. Do you know it?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
My brother described it as the most excruciating listen he's put himself through in forever, I think, or something like that. So yeah, a lot of wholesome tragedies around here. Yes. So let's go to something that's sounded more normal, which is the new Chaos Rising song. So in that song, you had to sound like a normal person singing. So was that hard for you?
Yes. Yeah, it's excruciatingly difficult. What comes naturally to me is Desolate Plains. So the kind of slightly disconnected, dissociated, slightly dead inside, that comes very naturally. This is a normal way to phonate and to convey emotion and difficulty of emotion. And I also have a very similar response to other singers and other people, in the sense that if someone is slightly disconnected, or if someone is trying to suppress an emotion, I recognize that as being a stronger emotion than someone who's like freely emoting and crying all over the place and being really expressive. I perceive the more expressive one as being very theatrical. It's a performance, and I enjoy performances, but it doesn't resonate with me like deeply. So yeah, it was really difficult. It was really difficult, and I knew it would be difficult. And I knew it would be difficult to the point that I full on like reached out to Catherine, who is the piano player, and I was like, look, they want a chorus. And they want like a catchy chorus. I don't do catchy. I do weird. I do weird and inaccessible. And I feel very comfortable with that. And I feel it is very accessible to me. Catchy is either an earworm or not memorable to me. So can you help me and can you write a melody? And I can do, like, because I did the verses. I did the pre-choruses, and for the chorus, what I had done is I had left it empty. And the only thing that I had done is I had just sung the last line, "We die." And in my mind, it was going to be this empty, deathly, void chorus. And then you just come in with "Still We Die," and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like, yep, we're all gonna die, let's do it. I was like, this is it. And then they were like, no, like do a full chorus. I'm like, I don't do full choruses, I don't know what that means. So I reached out to Catherine, I'm like, help! And she wrote it, and I was like, okay! And then I wrote lyrics, and the lyrics were very much exactly what they are, which is the contemplating everything we do and say to make the silence go away and keep us sane. Because in my mind, I'm like, why would you want to fill out a chorus? Why would you want to fill out anything? Oh, you don't like the emptiness? Are you uncomfortable with the emptiness? I'm going to make my lyrics about that. Which I did. Ta-da! This is how I write lyrics. It's so weird. But yeah.
This is... Ow. This is... I have... Sometimes when I do reactions with my bro, he'll say the stupidest thing and I'll just like stay there and like try to process what just happened. And this... The feeling I have now is kind of like the same, but worse.
Yay. That's fantastic.
Yay. Like what just happened, kind of.
Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of fun. Because I got to write all the lyrics. I got to pick the song. Mm-hmm. Like I had some options and I heard that one. I was like, it's like, that one's got a piano thing. And then it comes in later. I was like, yes, that one's slightly weird. Give me the weird one. Please give me the weird one. I like it. It's weird. And it was just so nice working with these human beings. It was really fun. I mean, it was, they definitely make more accessible music than what I make, / more palatable music. So, but it was really fun. It was challenging.
Was it different than the people you normally work with?
Yeah. There was an interesting amount of back and forth and feedback.
Oh.
Which I really liked. But I am very used to either working with, let's say, Desolate Plains, where it's like, ta-da, this is it. I'm like, great, let's do it. Or like literally like you're together, like 8 Lives Down or Act, like you're there together in the moment and you're making this thing and you're like, oh, okay, look, here's this character and here's this little bunny. And you're like, yes. And then we could turn it inside out and it could be a skeleton and it can be rotting as well. And then you end up with something completely different and you're like, yeah, that's the one. And you walk away and that's it. Just
I feel so sad about that bunny. That image looks like a Cannibal Corpse cover artwork.
But yeah, and I'm very used to working with 8 Lives Down. So I'm used to working with human beings who either decide things immediately and are like, that's the one, or like a question mark crops up and we all collectively have an existential crisis for like 6 months. And we're like, I'm still thinking about it. Leave me alone, don't talk to me, I'm thinking. And I love that. Whereas this was more conversational, which I'm not used to.
I can tell in a way. I mean, I just have to exist here and you're basically running most of the interview.
Yeah.
if it wasn't this disturbing, it would actually be effortless.
Yes. It's like monologues. I do monologues or I listen to monologues.
Have you? And we should just start another series at the Windmill that's just called Aliki Talks About Things, and then I'll just give you a camera and let you ramble.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, it'd be terrible. I would.
Okay.
I would.
Okay. I'm actually considering that now, and I don't know if that's a good idea.
Are you scared about all the hate?
No, I like dealing with haters.
Ah.
No, it's more like I'm afraid you'll hijack my channel.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Don't. I worked over a year on this. It's my baby. Okay, so now that we have gotten that deep dive into your wholesome character, I have an appropriate question. Tell me everything about that dissected larynx you saw a couple of weeks back.
I went to the dissection lab at King's College University in London. So excited. And we got to experience 7 cadavers, and I was like, oh my god, you guys are fabulous. In my life, I've never felt more at home in a place. I've never felt more relaxed. It's like everyone is dead. Nothing unexpected is going to happen. I was like, yes, corpses. Let's make it happen. And so we got to watch a bunch of like torsos and stuff, and we oriented ourselves initially in relation to nerves and all the general location. And then it was literally, so this is your larynx, yes.
I mean, not mine literally, I hope.
Hopefully not. But if this is a larynx, and so that would be you in profile, and that would be your Adam's apple. Yep, so that would be the bump of the thyroid cartilage. So we got this section a little bit longer down here, so a little bit more trachea, and the tongue was still in location. So tongue, blah, 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 was right there. And we got it from here with the entire wall, like the back wall of the pharyngeal constrictors still in place. And then he just pulled on like the little layers of skin and snipped them and slowly started dissecting it. And I was like, look at the little larynx. It's so lovely. Yes. And I got to touch stuff. So I got to like flap the epiglottis closed, and I got to poke like on the inside. I got to like literally like pudgy poke the vocal folds and pudgy poke the false vocal folds, and kind of enjoy how they're slightly different in texture. And I was like, oh my god, this is the best day of my life. And I would, oh my god, it was amazing. And I'm going back.
You're going back?
I am going back. I'm flying this week. I'm flying on Sunday, and I'm going back into the dissection lab again on Tuesday, because my problem is that if you see a dissection, right, and you see a cadaver, and you see all the little dead bodies and whatnot, and they're like, this is a larynx, your brain is probably going to go, that is what a larynx looks like. And I was like, no, we can't do that. We need to go in again, and we need to see multiple larynxes so that we don't go around in life thinking, like, this is what man looks like. I only have one reference. It's like, no, let's not. Let's have multiple frames of reference, please. So I'm going back in again. Me and the formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde?
Oh, it's such a nice smell. I like it.
I'm not sure what it is.
So it's the main way that you preserve the dead body so that it doesn't start decomposing.
Hi.
Ta-da!
You hit
And
me with the
it's-
weirdest things.
I know, and it's I personally find the smell very subtle. Like when I went and I was like, okay, this is a subtle smell. It's definitely present, but it's very discreet. The only thing is that it sits on you. Like it sits on your clothes and it sits on your hair, and then if you go out to lunch, like you smell like the dissection lab, no questions asked, which I don't care about, but it's very easy to wash off. Really, really easy. Like you just have a regular, normal shower, don't scrub more than anything, it's gone. So I highly recommend dissection labs.
Okay.
You have the opportunity, go.
Yay.
Okay. Well, I think that was the entire interview.
I'm so happy.
Thanks everyone for watching. This is Aliki. I'm scared. And see you with our next video.